Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now, without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, it seems like every time we think it can't get any worse for Lil Durk, we are proven wrong day after day after day. Now, I don't know what it is, but since this week has started, it seemed like it's been bad news for Lil Durk every time we turn around. And you know what's kind of crazy? Everybody's sitting there wondering why OTF Diddy's lawyer is trying to separate Diddy from Lil Durk. Well, as y'all can see, it's in his best interest not to be associated with Lil Durk at this point in time. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. It's not that he's trying to throw Lil Durk under the bus, because anything that he's putting in these documents to separate OTF Diddy is information that the feds are already aware of, which is how he know about it. And his job is to represent his client. So once his lawyer realized that they don't really have much evidence on OTF Diddy as much as they have on Lil Durk, yes, in his best interest will be to take OTF Diddy, separate him, and defend him from that standpoint. Right now, all they have OTF Diddy down for is allegedly firing shots and being the one that actually shot at Lil Pad, resulting in his demise. But as I always tell y'all, it's not what you know and it's not what you think when it comes to the court of law. It's all about what you can prove. That's it. So right now, yes, they got to defend themselves against whatever charges that they bring against them. But if they can't prove that he was there or he was the one firing shots, which means that they got to have a clear visual of his face, they got to have some type of DNA, fingerprints, or witness, then it's not much they could do with OTF Diddy. Opposed to Lil Durk, who they're saying they have a witness testifying against him, who they also say they got text message and Instagram threads against, the whole 9 yards. And this is why I found it funny when people try to say, oh, OTF Diddy's a great friend, he's gonna take the rap for Lil Durk. How? Right? This is not the movies. You can't just come out of nowhere when you playing with the feds and say, yes, it was all mine, it's mine, you know, just charge me with it. No, it don't work like that. It's investigations that have been involved, and they know exactly why they got certain people picked up. But like I said, you would never know too much until you actually go to trial, and sometimes it's just way too late. And besides, with OTF Diddy's lawyer basically trying to separate him and have his own charges opposed to whatever Lil Durk got going on, I think the rumors about him taken away should be null and void at this point. However, the feds are tricky and they strike yet again. If it wasn't already bad for Lil Durk and OTF and their whole affiliates, well, things just gotten worse. It's one thing to be accused of a crime where the feds will have to prove whatever charges they have against you, but now they're stating that they have wiretaps and yet another member who allegedly gave exclusive information to the feds. Sheesh. Being caught on wiretaps is similar to a possession charge. Possession is 9/10 of the law. And when they have you on wiretaps incriminating yourself for whatever they claim to have, then that's just as bad. Now, when it comes to people that's snitching or cooperating, I wonder who could it be? I guess they're gonna have to start side-eyeing everybody that's around and notice who started backing away, who started not being around out of nowhere. I don't know, man, this is crazy. And one of the reasons why snitching and cooperating is at an all-time high, y'all gotta remember, a lot of these guys, they were taking hits for money. They were doing anything and everything under the sun just for a little bit of money. So you gotta think, when you put a person from poverty in a position where they can make money and the only thing they gotta do is cooperate, what you think they're gonna do? These days, snitches and witnesses and cooperators, whatever you want to call them, whatever fancy name you have, these guys get paid a salary. How many times have we seen cases where they said that these guys was getting paid yearly, right? They were getting paid a monthly salary for years to basically snitch. And they were doing it. And it's always someone you least expect. So I guess when all the information actually come out as to what's going on and who's doing the cooperating, it should be interesting. But anyway, we're going to get into the document that tells us that there are wiretaps that are being used by the feds and see what they have to say. In the meantime, y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now, in this document that we about to see, obviously whoever they're referring to may be or may not be cooperating or something they're doing with the feds because they made sure they redacted their name, opposed to when it came to Marcus Smart, aka Muwop, when they were speaking of him, they put his name out there with no problem. Now it would say, quote, based on my review of certified conviction records for blank was convicted in blank, state of blank on or about blank. Based on my review of an FBI criminal history report for only the family OTF associate blank was convicted in Illinois State Court of aggravated battery with the firearm on or about blank. Based on my review of an FBI criminal history report for OTF associate blank in open source research, blank was arrested in or about blank and charged with, among other things, kidnapping and armed robbery. Based on conversation with other law enforcement agents with knowledge of Chicago-based gangs and open source resource, I know that Marcus Smart, aka Muwop, is a member of the Oblock street gang, an associate of defendant Durk Banks in OTF, including having appeared in at least 2 of Banks' music videos. On or about January 17, 2024, Smart was convicted by jury of racketeering offenses, including in the Northern District of Illinois. Attached as Exhibit A is a true and correct copy of an audio message seized from a phone belonging to blank and sent to blank from a number associated with OTF associate blank. Based on my review of an FBI 302 documenting an interview with blank on blank, I know that blank stated the following, and they redacted the whole message. Now, as you can see, I'm assuming they had a wiretaps on whoever phone they redacted, and whatever audio message that was sent to whoever name that was redacted again, it may have had some incriminating things in the audio message. And that's the thing about these phones. I don't know what it is that got these guys thinking that they could trick the feds or out-trick these phones where they try to use audio messaging that they think is going to disappear. But one thing about these phones and just technology period, nothing ever erases. It may erase on your end, but they got this cloud stuff to where they got stuff that they could bring back even if it's deleted. So stop doing crimes or incriminating yourselves using these cell phone devices. However, the wiretaps, like I said, probably came from somebody's phone, and that's how they got that. But then they also say, based on a review of an FBI 302 documented, it was an interview done with a redacted name, and that person basically gave up whatever information that he knows on OTF. So once again, there's a lot to uncover within this case. A Google Drive was dropped that have a bunch of information inside, courtesy of Durk All Day on Twitter. So if y'all want to find out more information for yourselves, I'm sure they'll be updating information via the documents. Now, clearly they have wiretaps too, and someone is offering information, which is never a good look on any level. Clearly they're trying to make Durk to be this menace, because within these documents you could also see them explaining how concerned they are about Durk and witness tampering, because they fear that Durk will seek revenge on anybody that's cooperating or a detriment to his case, which is one of the reasons why they are trying their hardest to withhold evidence or anything that displays any witnesses or cooperators' names. They also talk about Durk being able to communicate with the outside world and have unmonitored conversations due to him having an Apple Watch in his possession, which is labeled as contraband. Basically, it's illegal to have while he's in their custody, so that's why part of the document it would state, quote, attached as Exhibit B under seal is a true and correct copy of a report from the Bureau of Prisons documenting defendant Banks' possession of a contraband Apple Watch. As noted in Exhibit A, defendant Banks attempted to damage and or destroy the device when he was caught with it. Based on the FBI's investigation, including data provided by Apple, I know that the serial number of the watch seized from Banks' person shows that the device was associated with the Verizon cellular network, was purchased on May 26, 2025, and was activated the next day. Thus, the device permitted defendant banks and possibly others to have an unknown number of unmonitored communications. Now, that's the last thing Lil Durk need, man. He don't need the jury or the judge or anybody to think that he's in there and still able to talk to people on the outside and possibly send hits or do anything illegal while he's in their custody already, right? So y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about this. What y'all think about whatever wiretaps they have? Who do you think is the person that's cooperating with the police yet again? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. I'm out.